What I'm going to do, just a very casual talk. I'm going to talk you through the difference of our spear gun models. So I'm going to run through everything from the Venom right through the Envy range, all the way up to the Aimrite Vendetta double roller, which is our current blue water gun that we use for shooting marlin, dogtooth and yellowfin tuna. Alrighty, so the gun in front of me is our Venom 2.0. So the Venom was one of the very first guns that Aimrite ever made. It was an aluminium entry-level gun. The designs have obviously changed over the years. So this is the latest version. It comes with packed full of features. So when you're talking to a customer who wants, this is what I would call a light setup. So it comes with a 7mm shaft and 14mm bands, aluminium barrel. So it's a very light gun. It shoots very, very smoothly. The 14mm bands and the 7mm shaft are matched perfectly. So you'll get much less recoil from shooting this setup, which is something a lot of people don't like. Some people don't like the kick and the recoil. So something like this is perfect for younger kids, women, or also men that are shooting species probably up to around the 5 kilo mark. So what I'll do is I'll run through the gun from top to bottom, and then we'll see if there's any other questions. And then if there is questions, write them down, send them through to Cassie and I, and we'll get back to you guys as promptly as we can. So the shaft. So the shaft on these models is a 7mm spring steel South African made shaft. So these shafts are made in South Africa. That's where you get the best spring steel shafts from. You know, you're looking at brands like Spearmaster, Rob Allen, Mako, and all that sort of stuff. It comes with a tri-cut tip. Now, our tips on our shaft are actually a little bit different to some of the Rob Allens. So we actually go for a longer tri-cut. So you'll notice on here, the tri-cut is about 2 centimeters long. What I've found over the years is this actually has much better penetration compared to a shorter tri-cut tip. They're extremely sharp, so you really want to stay away from the pointy end of this. It comes with a single flopper, as you can see. These are attached with a 3mm pin, so plenty of strength in the pin. On our shafts, we run about 25 centimeters of overhang on our standard guns, and we run about 30 centimeters on our rollers. I've found over the years that these lengths for overhang are the most accurate by a long way. Coming back down the shaft, you've got 2 notches at the rear, and it is also at the rear trimmed down to 7mm or 6.5mm, depending on what model of shaft you've got. And what that means is it allows you to use 1.8mm mono and insert that back into the mechanism without hitting the sides. Speaking of the mono we use is 400-pound commercial grade 1.8mm black mono filament. So this comes out of Korea. So what you'll find is a lot of our components and a lot of our parts, we basically search the world, we find out where they're making the very best product. So spring steel shafts, South Africa. Monofilament for commercial fishing is Korea, and then everything comes into here fitted, machined, and that's why we can put out such a great product. Going right back up to the Bungee. So these pigtail swivels are about 700 pounds, so you're never going to break them. They also come out of Korea from our commercial fishing factory. Silicon bungees, so we don't use rubber in our bungees. And the reason being is rubber will perish over time. I've still got bungees that are 10 years old and they're still going strong. So we use silicon bungees so that they last, they'll pretty much almost outlast your gun. And then we use 350 kilo Dyneema as the Dyneema that connects to the muzzle of the gun, or your shooting or your reel line, depending on how you have it set up. So starting at the muzzle here, I'll talk about the rubber first. So the rubber that we use is USA latex rubber. It's made in the US from Primeline. Obviously that's where you get the best rubber made, so we don't mess around with any of the stuff that comes out of Asia. We go for the very best that we can get out of America. So this is USA latex. 14 mil, as I said. It comes in blood red, which is our Aimrite color, and it is made, it is then comes into Australia. We cut it to length, grind it off on our grinder. We then make up the inserts and the bridles, and then they are put in and they're tied off using constrictor knots. So all this is done here in Australia, all at our factory. We don't want to mess around when it comes to bands. They're a critical part of the spear gun, and we want to make sure that they're 100%, and the only way we can do that is to manufacture them here in Australia. All right, so let's start with the muzzle. The muzzle that we're using in our current designs for the Venom is the Aimrite sub muzzle. These are manufactured in Italy. They're a brilliant muzzle, 2 bands. They've got little band elevators on them. It's got hooks. And as you can see, it's got a pin for a connecting point, and what that does is it actually takes a lot of the weight out of the muzzle to reduce any arm fatigue when you're aiming out at fish. Very well made product. Mario from Aimrite Sub does a great job, and we're happy to use his products for our Venom and our Envy Pros. Coming down to the barrel, so these barrels here, they're a 25.6 mil ID barrel. The original barrels for the Venom were 25.4. What that meant was that we didn't really have that much buoyancy, and not only that, they were about 1.6 to 2 mil thick, depending on whether you had the heavy duty barrel or the light barrel. These ones here are about 1 mil thick. So what we've done is we've taken a lot of extra weight out of the barrel. It was unnecessary. It made the guns very heavy. So we re-engineered the barrel, and this is the current barrel we use. It's got a full length track. It's plugged on the inside, so you know it'll never leak, and it finished in black anodized aluminium, and obviously finished with the Aimrite logo sticker. All right, so let's go down now. Let's go, just 2 secs. All right, so let's come back to the handle. So the handle on the Venom 2.0 is our famous Venom handle that's been around for almost 20 years. Very, very comfortable grip. It's got 2 rubberized sort of grip plates on either side. It's got our unique safety assist. Now this is our own design that Aimrite's had for a number of years. It is unique to the Aimrite brand, and it is the only silent safety that we're aware of. So that's basically the Venom handle. It's got a removable butt for those guys that want the Rob Allen style sort of setup. On the side here, it's got the line guide, and what this does is this actually keeps the mono out of the way when you're loading your bands into your notches, something that can get real annoying. So it's got this nice line management system on the side that keeps it out of the way. And then the mechanism that we're using in this is actually the 3rd version of this generation of mech. There's been a few little upgrades that we haven't really released. We've just gone ahead and upgraded. So now the screw on top's different. The line release on the side's thicker. It's got the grooves in the finger piece for a little bit of extra grip for those guys that are using like the rubbery gloves. It's got a reverse roller mechanism style setup. So it's got a roller that rolls off the back of the trigger piece. So there's no metal on metal grinding or anything like that. Super smooth mechanism. The reviews on this have been absolutely phenomenal. We're very, very happy with it. And it's the same mechanism that we use in our $400 gun right up to our $2,500 gun. So that's pretty much the Venom in a nutshell. It can be fitted with a reel. We do recommend the 50 meter reel only because it is a light reel. Anything bigger can compromise a bit of the balance and the buoyancy in the gun. So that's the Venom 2.0 overview. The gun comes with a full lifetime warranty on the mechanism, the handle, the barrel, and the muzzle. If you have any questions, please reach out and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. So this one here is the Envy Pro. So this is taking the Venom 2.0, stepping it up. Basically, it's like that gun on steroids. So what this is this is our entry-level carbon twin band gun, but we upgrade a few of the components, beef it up a bit, make it just that little bit stronger, that little bit better, for those guys wanting to target a few bigger species. So same thing again, you've got your spring steel shaft from South Africa. No need to go over that again. However, this time in the Envy Pro, it is a 7.5mm shaft. So you've gone up 0.5 millimeter in diameter. The reason we run the thicker shaft is because most people using this gun will be targeting bigger reef species and starting to get into their pelagics, or they might be targeting big barramundi, jewfish and stuff like that on the coast. So yeah, you need that thicker diameter shaft. The reason being is you don't want to bend it on those bigger fish. We also beef up the bands on this gun, so we're still using USA latex bands, 16mm this time. The reason for that is you need that bit of extra energy to propel that 7.5mm shaft. So we run twin 16mm bands on this setup, 7.5mm shaft. All the hardware for the handle and the mech and everything is the same. However, because it's the Envy range, we have the Envy carbon fiber barrel. This is a 26mm internal diameter barrel, plenty of buoyancy in there to compensate for the little bit of extra weight in the shaft. And it is 2.5mm thick, so super thick barrel. I think some of our competitors on the market are only using like a 1.2 to a 1.6mm carbon fiber barrel. The reason we use a heavy duty carbon fiber barrel is because we need something in the gun to absorb a little bit of that recoil. So carbon fiber actually absorbs recoil much better than aluminium. So with the heavier shaft, the heavier bands, more power, more energy, we're able to absorb that recoil within the barrel. So that's the Envy Pro. Beautiful gun to shoot. Obviously, the benefits of a Envy Pro versus a roller, which I'll get into, is that if you're shooting smaller species of fish, you can just load the one band. That way you're not pushing the shaft into the reef or rocks or stringing that fish. So you can actually depower the Pro version and the Venom 2.0. Right, so this is the Envy Pro, as you can see, set up, and it's got the 50-meter reel on it. The reason a reel is good is you're not restricted as far as float lines and stuff goes. So basically everything is in the one gun. You can shoot the fish, hold onto your gun while the reel line feeds out and get to the surface, which is fantastic. We recommend using the 50-meter reel. It's super light, won't compromise the balance or buoyancy, and will provide you with, I guess, a much better system, especially if you're doing bommy hopping or diving in and out of a boat. The fact that this is all self-sufficient, it means that you're not having to feed a float line or a float in and out of the boat all day. Yep, so the Envy Pro is available from a 70 all the way up to a 140. So it is quite a large range of sizes that these guns come in. All right, so the next model in our range of Envy is the Envy Roller. So if people are looking for something that's got a bit more punch, a bit more range, a little bit more power, they might want to look at something like this. This is the Envy Roller. So what it is you're going from a standard gun in the Envy Pro that's got the twin bands to a roller gun. So with a roller gun, as you can see, the bridle sits right up on the muzzle. So when you load the gun to the back notch, you're propelling the shaft the entire length of the gun, even probably further because it goes past the barrel. So because you're propelling the shaft for a longer distance and a longer time, you're obviously going to get a lot more force and a lot more energy in your shot. So same again, 7.5mm shaft, 16mm bands on the Envy Pro, 26mm ID barrel, and these guns are absolutely phenomenal, especially if you don't want any recoil. There's very minimal recoil on this setup. It shoots a double wrap, so the Envy Pro will only shoot a single wrap. This will shoot a double wrap, so you're getting probably an extra 2 meters, 2.5 meters on your shot, depending on what length you go for. These are available, I think, right down to a 75, all the way up to a 125. This version here is obviously the one that has the reel attached. Like I said, This makes the gun fully self-sufficient. You can shoot a fish, get to the service and pull it in all within the constraints of your gun. The roller gun, for those guys that have never used it, it does take a little bit more effort to reach right up to the top and load it into the rear notch. You're reaching up that full distance of the gun. So we do have load assists that are available, which make your life much easier. It just connects to the bridle, loads the rubber halfway down, and then you're able to reach up and load the remainder of the bands. All right, so as you can see, the Envies come in like a few different models and configurations. Like I said, all our guns come with a lifetime warranty on the trigger, the handle, the barrel, and the muzzle, and the construction. So if there's ever any issues, we will sort the customer's problems out straight away. We don't mess around with our lifetime warranty. We're actually the first spear gun company that ever had a lifetime warranty, and we swear by our commitment to that. Just tell the customers to get in touch with us and we can help them out. Alrighty guys, up next is our flagship gun. So basically the Vendetta range is our signature series. One of the best guns that I've ever made in my time here at Aimrite. Starting with the shaft, same thing, spring steel, 7.5mm shaft and 16mm USA latex bands. We find that this is the perfect combination for roller guns. And as I said, you can actually use a load assist if you struggle to load a gun. These do come in a 105 to a 125, and in those longer lengths, it is actually very hard to load. So yeah, if you need to, just grab a load assist and it'll make life much easier. So the main thing that stands out with this gun is our Vendetta barrel. So this barrel is unique to Aimrite. We developed it, designed it, manufactured it. No other company in the world has access to this barrel, and it is one of a kind. So it features a full cuttlefish length, the entire length of the barrel. It stops at about 1 meter up the barrel, so there's plenty of internal buoyancy in this gun. Comes back to your cylindrical barrel finish, and that allows us to mount the 70-meter Hermes reel, which comes standard on this model. So as you can see, it's got the Aimrite reverse roller trigger mechanism, Venom handle. It's got the 70-meter Hermes sub reel, which comes standard on these guns. And what that does is it actually balances out the gun perfectly. The Vendetta big winged barrel, absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't used one of these, you're completely missing out. I absolutely swear by these. Our Aimrite roller muzzle with ceramic bearings. All of our roller muzzles have ceramic bearings. We don't do glass bearings on the cheaper models. So those cheaper models have just the same bearings as our premium guns. And obviously finished, got the cheetah bridle there, mono filament shooting line, which we recommend on all our guns. It has a lot less issues than Dyneema. Dyneema, what we find is it can get caught up. It has memory and stuff like that. So we highly recommend just using the 1.8mm monofilament shooting line. Comes with a double wrap as standard and will shoot out to about 7.5 meters. Available in 105 to 125 in the single roller, and I'll now touch on the double roller as well. Just some notes in regards to this gun. It will float horizontal on the surface with the shaft out perfectly. In the water, it will feel like you're holding a feather. I have been using this one for about 18 months now, and I haven't met one person that's used a Vendetta and hasn't absolutely raved about it. So what I would explain to people is what this is like. So this is basically the Ferrari of spear guns. So we do make the Envy range, which is a phenomenal product, and they shoot extremely well. But this is basically the Ferrari of spear guns as far as looks and performance go. Probably one of the most popular guns that we've released in the last 2 years would easily be our Vendetta double roller. Now this gun is specifically designed to take down big blue water species. So marlin, sailfish, big wahoo, big dogtooth, big yellowfin tuna, all that sort of stuff. If you're planning to go on a blue water trip there's a few reasons why you should choose a Vendetta over any other gun. One of them being that the gun is much lighter than any timber blue water gun on the market. So to travel with this gun versus a big timber cannon is like night and day. Also diving, if you're on a 7-day dive trip and you're diving up and down 25 meters each day, it can get very tiresome diving with a big timber cannon. The Vendetta packs the same amount of power, is just as accurate and much easier to travel with, and you'll be able to dive up and down much easier every day of that trip. Obviously, starting at the top, we've got our Aimrite 8.5mm tri-cut slip tip, and that's on one of our 8.5mm threaded shafts. So threaded shafts actually come out of a number of places. So we get some manufactured in Italy, and then we also get some made in Indonesia. Very, very high quality shafts, very, very straight compared to some on the market that I've used before. And our 8.5mm tri-cut slip tip is matched perfectly with that setup. We use cable shooting line. We have a large problem here in Australia for sharks. And the last thing you want to do is lose a shaft and a slip tip setup because a shark bites through the shooting line. So what we do is we set these up as if we were going to use them. So they're set up with cable shooting line. For those guys that might be diving a non-sharky area, you can use Dyneema or a really heavy duty mono, but it's all personal choice at the end of the day. Twin 16mm bands, plenty of power. 8.5mm shaft and the twin 16mm bands is a perfect match. I've shot this setup for the last 2 seasons and had great success. I've actually stoned a pretty big black marlin, which didn't even move, which was a pretty incredible sight to see. But guys are shooting like yellowfin tuna, big wahoo, doggies and all that sort of stuff with this exact setup. Aimrite double roller muzzle comes with heavy duty carbon side plates to protect your wheels, ceramic bearings. The risers on this muzzle are actually higher than some of the other roller muzzles on the market, and the reason being is when you're feeding your shaft back in, the last thing you want to do is be hitting your bridles with the shark fins, and what that'll do is that'll actually wear your bridles out and cause them to snap. So the risers on our muzzles are a little bit higher than most other manufacturers, and it's also got heavy duty line anchor in that on the bottom. The barrel, obviously, like I said, Vendetta barrel. As you can see, this one here is a 135. The barrel tapers away at the end, and it's got that big cuttlefish in the rear, giving you plenty of buoyancy to balance out this 8.5mm shaft. Handle and trigger mech, same handle and trigger mech we use in our entire range. Reverse roller mech, very smooth, no issues with trigger pull with this mechanism. It is a very smooth pull, probably only about 2 kilos. So that is the Vendetta double roller. If you're serious about doing blue water spearfishing, I highly recommend getting a setup like this. What I'm going to run through now is a few points of difference and selling points that basically set Aimrite apart from the rest of the market. So the first one I want to say is Aimrite has been established since 1998. We were the very first spear gun company to offer a lifetime warranty on all of our guns, and the reason we could do that is because they were overbuilt, over-engineered, and would never ever fail. Now, this day and age, what we've realized is we don't need all that extra weight in our guns. So what I've done a few years back is I completely redesigned and re-engineered our entire range of guns to be perfectly balanced and perfectly engineered. And the feedback that we have got as far as the usability on the old version of an Aimrite compared to the new version is night and day. So these guns are much more user-friendly. As I said, full lifetime warranty still on the handle, trigger, barrel and muzzle, and the construction. We were the first to do it, and we're the only genuine lifetime warranty that I know of. Some spear gun manufacturers out there may offer a lifetime warranty, but they do not build their spear guns to last a lifetime, and that is the difference between an Aimrite and another brand of spear gun. Some of them just replace parts when they break. We design and build our parts to never break or never fail. So that's in regards to the company history and the lifetime warranty. The other thing is as well, Aimrite spear guns actually account for all the big, well, not all, but almost all the big fish records out there. So with the biggest ever marlin shot with an Aimrite, the biggest, that was for a male and female at one point in time. I think the males was 800-pound blue marlin. The females was a 630-pound marlin shot in Tahiti. Biggest ever dogtooth shot, world record, which was John Pengelly over in Tahiti. And then on consecutive days, he shot the world's biggest wahoo, 63 kilos with an Aimrite. Multiple big yellowfin tuna shot, multiple marlin, world record sailfish, world record mackerel. The list goes on. So people that are out there doing some very serious diving, chasing big fish, are using Aimrite spear guns. The reason being is because they know that if they buy an Aimrite spear gun, it'll never let them down. And that's what we want to promote, is the fact that our guns are very reliable and will get the job done. Also, a bit about Aimrite International as it stands today. So Aimrite originated in Hawaii. We purchased the company about 14 years ago here in Australia, and Aimrite International is mine and Cassie's family-owned business. So both myself and Cassie work in our own business, and then we have our two sons, Hunter and Knox. So it's basically a family-run business. We employ locals here in Australia. Dylan is our right-hand man who runs the entire workshop. Glenn has just come on board, very knowledgeable, has a very good background in the ocean and the retail industry. We've got another young fella, Flynn, who works in here part-time, and then another young fella, Ash, who works here after school. So although Aimrite looks like a massive company from the outside, we're a small run family business supporting the local community, and we would rather put out a very high quality product rather than put out a bunch of crap. So you can rest assured that if you're working with us in our company, you'll never get anything that we haven't put a lot of engineering or a lot of thought in, or anything that could damage our reputation, because this is our family business. This is what me and Cassie rely on to support us and support our income. So yeah, so we are 150% invested in this company and putting out the very best quality we can.